Good afternoon. Welcome to our session about sustainable development and economic growth through innovation. Fantastic issue, fantastic topic with a great panel here. But first of all, I would like to remind you that we have a nice tool for participation from your side, from the audience, during this panel, which is called Ask and Vote. Probably you already heard about it in previous sessions. Well, it's a kind of tool you can use via your mobile phone with the Smart City application, Smart City Expo application, or eventually directly through the web page, which is www.smartcityexpo.com/ask-and-vote. So it's, I would say, a really great tool, and please let us know your opinion, post your questions, and this is also for sure going to enrich our panel. So, sustainable development and economic growth through innovation. Somehow in this panel today we have only the representatives for public administration. And I think it's really great to hear that public administration is, let's say, strongly involved in the innovation. That innovation is not just coming from the companies or from startups or for entrepreneurs, but also from the public administration. Because here we have more focus on citizens, more focus on people, and more focus on livability of our cities. So in that sense, we have really, I mean, fantastic group today. First of all, Mr. Edgar Mora, the mayor of Curridabat from Costa Rica. Edgar is a journalist, but for over 11 years, the mayor of the city, and well, running the city, I would say excellently, because you won several prizes and recognitions from international bodies and institutions. Okay, so next we are going to hear Mr. André Moreira, who is coming from Salvador, from Brazil. Edgar is André is coming from Environmental Innovation Department. He's actually Secretary of the Sustainable City, and he's going to explain us the achievements from Salvador. Later on, we are going to hear Mr. Matthias Serracant, the mayor from Sabadell. Matthias is a geographer by education, and used to work quite a lot with the planning and public administration before his turn as a mayor. And he also has very interesting experiences and reflections, I would say, about the future of our cities. Later on, Miss Lisa Enarsson from City of Stockholm is going to explain us a bit about the Lighthouse project. You know, this is a smart city initiative from the European Commission, the smart city project called Grow Smarter. And I would say also very interesting and very challenging project for the future of European cities. So please, Edgar, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Voy a hablar en español. Pero si alguien tuviera después alguna pregunta en inglés, también podría contestarla en ese idioma. Curridabat es una ciudad costarricense de 75,000 habitantes, 16 kilómetros cuadrados. Es importante tener la voz de estas ciudades en foros como estas. Igual que mi colega es alcalde de una ciudad de 210,000 habitantes. En este tipo de ciudades, entre 75,000, 70,000, 250,000 habitantes, vive el 80% de las personas que viven en zonas urbanas en el mundo. Las ciudades grandes son muy pocas, las ciudades pequeñas y medianas son cientos de miles. Aprender cómo hacer que estas ciudades sean inteligentes en el sentido que ahora vamos a explicar, es vital para el planeta, es vital para todos los habitantes, para la vida del planeta, y ese es un mensaje que quiero poner por delante. Nosotros en Curridabat tenemos una visión de desarrollo multidimensional, y hoy voy a argumentar esto que está acá en la pantalla. Nosotros no hemos encontrado, los seres humanos que vivimos en urbes, una manera de conformar una ciudad que constantemente le agregue valor al planeta en vez de constantemente sustraerle valor al planeta. Las ciudades deben seguir siendo responsabilizadas por el agotamiento de recursos vitales y del crecimiento de inequidades. En este sentido, vale la pena hacerse la pregunta si la innovación es una opción o si la innovación es una obligación. Yo lo que voy a argumentar hoy es que debemos desde las ciudades procurar que el ordenamiento urbano, el diseño urbano y la gobernanza urbana tengan como prioridad una visión o una visión holística que parta casualmente del lado de la demanda y no del lado de la oferta. Aquí en esta feria hay toda la oferta que se puede tener. La pregunta es, ¿habrá toda la demanda que hay ahí afuera? Esa es una pregunta valiosa de poner por delante. Nosotros creemos que para tener una ciudad o iniciar una ciudad, iniciar conformando una ciudad que agregue valor al planeta, hay algo fundamental que hacer que no se ha hecho todavía, que es superar el antagonismo entre la naturaleza y la ciudad. Los modelos urbanos hasta ahora son modelos que antagonizan con la naturaleza, parten de un criterio europeo de que todo lo que hay afuera de la ciudad está vacío y disponible para la ciudad, y a raíz de eso pues tenemos grandes problemas de cambio climático, grandes problemas de ineficiencias y de inequidades. También creemos que fijándonos en la naturaleza encontramos un buen modelo, y este modelo es la polinización. La polinización debería de ser el fundamento para modelar una nueva ciudad, una nueva tipología de planificación urbana. ¿Cómo adaptar esta visión a la gobernanza de la ciudad? Hay algunas dimensiones que hay que tener en cuenta. En este círculo ustedes ven en el centro a una familia, pero no solo una familia humana, también hay otras especies que habitan en la ciudad y que podrían habitar en la ciudad. Hay un territorio, hay espacio verde, y las dimensiones con las que trabajamos son casualmente la biodiversidad. Fundamentalmente creemos que es la infraestructura de la ciudad, sobre ella la infraestructura dura, la convivencia, el hábitat y la productividad. Vale la pena hacerse las siguientes preguntas. ¿Cómo hacer para que la infraestructura se adecue a la biodiversidad y no al revés? El paradigma de la ingeniería, por ejemplo, en el tratamiento de agua hasta ahora ha sido que la gota que cae tiene que llegar rápido al río. ¿Es ese un valor de este siglo? No, no lo es, ya no más. Pero ¿dónde está el modelo de nueva infraestructura que requerimos para que no haya solo escorrentías, sino que también haya percolación en las ciudades? Otra pregunta es, ¿cómo se diseña el territorio para generar una ciudad más accesible e integrada? Integrada versus segregación. Las ciudades han sido construidas fundamentalmente para segregar hasta ahora. Es decir, la ciudad integradora hace muchos años perdió fuelle y fue sustituida por un modelo urbano que se fundamenta en el principio de separación. Esto, que es un principio político relevante, se ha filtrado en el ordenamiento del territorio y ha sido la base para tener espacios habitables segregados. Por supuesto, la naturaleza sale perdiendo porque se supone que debe estar contenida y separada del resto de la ciudad. La siguiente pregunta es, ¿quién se considera miembro de la comunidad? Hay distintas membresías en las ciudades. Hay gente que tiene una tarjeta platino, otra que tiene una tarjeta oro. Al final de cuentas, hay gente que no tiene tarjetas. ¿Por qué sucede eso? ¿Cuál es la forma en la que la ciudad se ha desarrollado de tal manera que las mujeres, por ejemplo, tienen entornos hostiles a ellas versus los hombres que se sienten más seguros en la ciudad. También la pregunta de cómo hacer que la ciudad sea productora, y esto es fundamental. Las ciudades han sido pensadas para consumir, para ser grandes hubs de consumo. ¿De qué? De energía, de agua, de suelo, de alimentos. La pregunta es cómo hacemos para que la ciudad produzca casualmente eso. Alimentos, energía, agua, suelo. El suelo es muy importante porque el suelo es donde el carbono debería de estar. Si tenemos problemas de cambio climático no es por el carbono, es por donde el carbono está. El carbono debería de estar bien cuidado en el suelo y no en el aire. La suma de las experiencias de los ciudadanos y de los ciudadanos humanos y de otras especies en la ciudad es lo que daría la posibilidad de tener una ciudad que no solo crezca, porque las ciudades sabemos crecer, los alcaldes sabemos hacer crecer ciudades. Lo que tenemos que aprender es a hacer cosas distintas con el crecimiento de la ciudad, es decir, a distribuir mejor la riqueza y a generar una ciudad más habitable, no solo para los seres humanos, sino para otras especies. Y será a través del diseño de experiencia que eso se logre. Por último, quiero adelantar una idea que me parece relevante. En las ciudades, a diferencia de los países, tenemos la oportunidad de tener una innovación fundamental que es la confianza. La confianza como innovación es posiblemente la frontera a la que deberíamos de acceder. Muchas gracias.
Thanks, Edgar. André, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, all of you. It's my pleasure to talk to you today. And I'm happy to introduce you Salvador. And a little bit that what are we doing in my city? Well, that's Salvador. It's our biggest icon in the city and how the people are in fact using our city. Well, Salvador was the first capital of Brazil. We are like the capital of the state of Bahia. There, samba, bossa nova, and tropicalia were born and nurtured before became an international musical phenomenon. The city is surrounded by the second largest world bay, All Saints Bay, and the largest one in the South Hemisphere. Our historic center is recognized by the UNESCO as a cultural heritage, and we also have the biggest carnival in the world. I would like to invite you all to be in our carnival. Our population is predominantly African Brazilian, and we are proudly to be the blackest city outside Africa. A city, we are deeply characterized for inequality. Our GDP is of $17.9 by billion, with positioning Salvador as the 12th position amid all Brazilian capitals. With a population of almost 3 million people, Salvador is the fourth city in Brazil in area of 690 square kilometers. Our GDP per capita is of $6,000, which pulls us back as 26th position amid all Brazilian capitals. Brazil has 27 capitals. Despite of these numbers, we are a very hard-working, creative people, and we are changing the game. Since 2013, the city started experiencing a revival in many aspects. Firstly, we had to sort out the public finance and to organize the city basic needs. Now we are able to open up new fronts for sustainable development and climate concerns. Among Brazilian cities, Salvador is one that developed the largest bicycle path structure. There are 197 kilometers of bike path, and it's available a bike sharing service. This picture shows a bus driver have a cyclist experience in our city. It's an initiative to promote a safe and peaceful traffic. They feel on their skin what it is to be like a cyclist. We did it with 2,000 bus drivers in Salvador. We also we've organized and secured up to 19 million square kilometers of urban conservation sites. And we started to make green parks available for public use. Regarding to primary education, Salvador is the Brazilian capital that had the best performance at the National Education Index. We advanced 9 positions further since 2013. Recently, we've been developing tools to foster innovative and sustainable development. Some of these reached international recognition, such as Green Urban Property Tax. This is the Sustentável Cities 100 magazine, which our program was chosen as one of the solutions. We built up a very modern unit center to control climate change and to prevent disasters. This unit worked 24 hours and 7 days per week. And we are very glad that it's the most modern local municipal unit in the country connected to vulnerable areas in the city. Currently, mobility is one of the most important themes for Salvador. The app Cidade helps public transport users, and it has achieved more than 1.3 million downloads and 297 million communications. It provides real-time information on bus services and timetable. The Cidade is also connected to a monitoring unit for traffic and bus service, which gives an opportunity to fix any delays quickly. Also, citizens can be benefited by price and service integration, connecting metro buses and intermunicipal buses that include the metropolitan region. To improve the communication between citizens and the municipal government, we developed a web platform where every citizen can choose what kind of public work they want to have done in their neighborhood. More than 1,000 initiatives were pointed out directly by citizens and are being doing at this moment. It's a big challenge to promote public engagement in a city with almost 3 million people. To foster this engagement and to build a citizen commitment, we have also developed a tool for monitoring tree planting. Every tree can be georeferenced, and citizens are able to follow how growing are trees planted by them. It's our website. Salvador is now part of many international networks, such as C40, 100 Resilient Cities, and ICLEI. Moreover, Salvador received also a title of City of Music under the UNESCO Creative Cities Network. Despite of all this effort, we need to keep going and to advance further as faster as we can. During 2017, we launched a program called Salvador 360, which includes 8 thematic axes, including creative economy, investment, business, innovation, smart city, and sustainability, among others. The program focuses on new business generation and employability. For the smart city thematic axis, we do believe it's fundamental to create a smart business and governmental environment to develop an intelligent city. The investment in innovation is crucial for the future. As such, the municipal government is working on nurturing an ecosystem of innovation. Embracing a number of projects, the stepping stone for this thematic axis is a hub of innovation placed in the historic district by the All Saints Bay. We will have 300 working stations and 100 startups per year, with an amount of 100 investments for 4 years devoted to business accelerations. The hub focuses on fintechs, govtechs, and services. Considering the existing social inequality, we are developing a public policy and hub for social entrepreneurship. It helps startups with social impact. Currently, we are discussing with Yunus Social Business from Muhammad Yunus to better prepare our team. We want to promote better life balance, providing people with the opportunity to work near their homes. So, to achieve this end, we are including a new model on the Cidade app to serve as an outlet for jobs opportunity in the areas of residence. Moreover, we believe that citizens can have incredible ideas to solve their daily problems and may appear with good solutions to improve public systems. and services. For that, we have permanent rounds of pitch govs. There are many propositions currently under analysis now. Finally, I want to show a video. It's in Portuguese, but I'm sure that you all understand it.
A boca arde. A pele salga. O olhar eterniza. O peito batuca. E a alma sente. Salvador é uma festa para os sentidos. Venha ouvir os sons, provar os sabores e sentir os cheiros dessa cidade surpreendentemente diferente. Salvador, você sente que é diferente.
I would like to invite you all to visit, invest, enjoy our city. Thank you very much.
Thanks, André. I suppose I'm not the only one who would take the first plane to go to Salvador after this presentation, but well, okay. Maybe next. Okay, Matthias, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot. Welcome you all. As a city mayor in Catalonia, I welcome you to Catalonia and Barcelona. And I just, to remind you, we have half of our Catalan government in jail, and we demand freedom for our jailed governors. As a cities are innovation, cities are information, cities are communication, cities are culture, and cities are technology. Cities are a complex system birthed from the union of art, because architecture and urbanism are an art, and also are made from technology and organization, governance. Technology for us, for a mayor, for our local authorities, must be used for new ways to improve cities' big data, but in order to achieve our local goals. And for that local goals, our main item today is planning. Planning, better planning, efficient planning, urban planning, regional planning. These are, for us, keywords when we are talking about a smart city. What do in Sabadell, in a medium city with 200,000 people, what do we want to improve by ICTs, by information communication technologies in cities? We think that there are three goals: proximity and accessibility. We are talking about connectivity, interchanges and innovations. That is, for us, talking about places for strategies, and also public spaces where people meet and within which we can do smart citizens. How? We were talking about what, and now we want to talk about how, and in which ways. We talk about effective governance systems, as public services are. We talk about health systems, monitoring all people directly from their homes. We talk about energy systems, transition carbon energy systems, governments with open data and direct contact with councillors. We talk also about urban sustainable transport, and also empowering people through tools for more and better city information systems. Let's see what's going on in the city of Sabadell now. Just to say, Sabadell used to be the Manchester of Catalonia, because there are similar characteristics with Britain City, with textile industry. Crisis and the misrule of last years have taken the city to the need for more than just reforming, to restart. We want to restart as an urban project due to our volunteer for a project, to make a project for quality of life. The new government of Sabadell from 2050 have made a new program, a new program in order to restart and to reboot the city. How are we going to do this? Just making a new urban strategical plan. The first thing that we must do is knowing the city, to know what is the city that we have now. We are making all kind of new studies, mobility studies, energy studies, waste study, water studies, pollution, climate change, urban fabrics, housing, in order to know how to start transforming the cities. And yes, we didn't already know how was the city that we were governing. And in each of these matters, mobility, energy, waste, we know that we need ICT solutions. ICT solutions for control transit, ICT solutions for monitoring energy and reducing consumes. New plans emphasize the new strategic and social character, and also the need to know that we are talking about places. So we need maps. We are talking about places, so we need maps. In fact, is the thing that we more need. In this way, we are in some European projects. Triangulum is the most important for us. We have 3 lighthouse cities that allows us to be in contact with 3 experiences which have already carried out in practice or in progress a lot of interesting projects. We are in Triangulum. We are talking about energy transition policies, which we know that in Netherlands, for example, are a special reference for us in Catalonia. We are talking with these Triangulum cities of ICT to make easier lives for Sabadell citizens. We need to move from the smart cities to smart citizens. All cities are carrying this change of strategy. Not just introducing new technologies, but with the aim of reaching all these technologies in all areas for all generations. We are also working with these Triangulum cities, with this lighthouse. We are talking about urban mobility, one of the most important plans and projects in order to transform our cities and to change the future of cities and citizens and how they must run is urban mobility. Car era and the cities as we know today are changing and are coming to an end. Nowadays, we are committed with the new urban agenda in Sabadell, where public space has to be one of the most important aspects of our cities. Also, we are working on DUSI with European Urban Sustainable Integrated Project with 50% of EU fund, developing new solutions for empty industrial heritage, recovering shrinking cities, and new housing policies. There are a lot of facts, a lot of items involved in this urban transformation. E-governance, open data policies, reducing carbon emissions, new urban public transport systems, and on and on and on. New market, new economy, near zero emission building. All these things happen in a plan, happen in a concrete area, in a place. As I am geographer, I think that what we most need is planning, urban planning. So map planning, places. And we think that we can't do these transformations without planning and without learning to plan and without learning to manage. And planning and managing, we have to know it. It's an art. It's not only about technology. It's an art, and we have to already relearn to do it. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks, Matthias. Let's learn what can Lisa explain us from Stockholm.
Okay, my name is Lisa Enarsson, and I'm from the city of Stockholm, working at the Environment and Health Administration, and I am in the coordination team of the Grow Smarter project, where Stockholm is working together with Barcelona and Cologne, and together with industrial partners to test new smart solutions in our cities. And we see that today cities face very much the same challenges. We have the climate change, we have housing, we have jobs and transportation. And actually our politicians have decided that we should be fossil fuel free for 2040. And so we really need new smart solutions to be solving this. You could see that we have reached quite far. It's more than half we have reduced, but this last step is really challenging. So we need new smart solutions. And Grow Smarter shows 12 smart solutions that are contributing to solving these challenges that we have. They will contribute to save resources and increase economic growth. They will improve quality of life and create 1,500 jobs, because we have many industrial partners with us, and with their success, we hope that they will be able to employ more people across Europe. We want to reduce energy usage by 60% and greenhouse gases with 60% as well. And the smart solutions are divided into 3 parts. It's the low energy districts, it's integrated infrastructure, and urban mobility. And our main focus actually is the first smart solution, which is energy efficient and refurbishment. And we are doing this in all 3 cities. The letters you can see behind SCB is that it's in Stockholm, Cologne, and Barcelona. This is one of the houses in Stockholm where we are doing quite a lot of different smart solutions and planning to reduce the energy with 60 to 70%. And the most impressive part here, I think, is the windows that we are putting in, which are 4 glazed windows. So they have a U value of 0.7, and I think that's needed in our cold climate in Sweden. In the low energy district, we're also working with the smart building logistic part, because when we are doing these renovations, we will need a lot of material, and then we will have a logistics center, so the material will be driven there, and from there will be an environmental friendly heavy vehicle taking it out to the site where the renovation is going on, just in time for when they're needed, so they don't need to have a storage in the site. The third part is smart energy tenants, because we think the technology is not enough. We also need the tenants' behavior to change. So they are provided with this kind of pad in their a tablet in their apartment, where they can do different choices, so they also can reduce the energy used in their apartments. So they can choose to dim the lights, or they can also press a button, just shut off everything when I'm not at home. So it makes it easier to be climate friendly. The fourth part is the smart local production of electricity, and also to integrate these parts. So here we have a picture of the Siedlung management from Cologne, where they're actually managing a virtual power plant, where you have the district heating and the solar panels and the electricity from that, and the building, and also it could be connected to electric cars as well. So you have all this in the same management to make the building more smart and the use of the energy. Then we come to the integrated infrastructure part. Here we have smart lighting, where you can see the different models. The ones to the left are the ones that are done in Barcelona, which are really smart. There you can also have the connection to the smart lamps. In Stockholm, we're working on LED lights that are also possible to dim down, so when nobody's around, the lighting goes down with 40%, so you can save a lot of energy, more than 50%. Then we have the waste heat integration. I suppose all of you know about Facebook. The data center is placed in Luleå, and we think that's a waste because they have lots of waste heat, and if it was placed in Stockholm, we could take care of it in the district heating system and warm up 100,000 apartments with that. Now we're starting in a smaller scale in this project, so it will be a smaller data center and a supermarket, and they will be able to warm up 1,000 apartments with this solution. And then we have the waste part, where we have Envac, who is also here with us in this exhibition today, where we have one inlet where you can throw all different fractions. So you save a lot of space in the city if you use this solution, and then it's sucked with vacuum in pipes underground to a container further away, so you don't get all the traffic in the area where people live. So this is also a really smart solution. The last part here is the big data protocol, where we're also working in both Stockholm, Cologne, and Barcelona. I don't have time to go into all these smart solutions, so we'll come back to it maybe later when we have the discussions. The last part is the urban mobility, where we have sustainable delivery. When you order something on the internet, you will also be able to get it to the entrance where there is a room where all the packages will be delivered by a biking service. This is done in both Stockholm and Barcelona. And we also have a traffic management part here, where the traffic lights will give priority to heavy vehicles, for instance, if they are fueled with green fuel or electric vehicles. So they get a better solution than other heavy vehicles in the city. And the last part is about the fuel. We need to put up more charging places for the electrical vehicles, which we're doing in all 3 cities. But we're also putting up stations for green alternative fuel. And we're working on mobility solutions also in all 3 cities, with car sharing possibility with electric cars and also bike sharing. So all these parts are now being implemented in the 3 cities, and we're almost done. So the next 2 years, we want to demonstrate all these smart solutions in our 3 cities. We have the Royal Institute of Technology with us, who are looking at the evaluation of the technical parts of these solutions. And we have IES, which is a business school here in Spain, in Barcelona, that are looking at the business models on these smart solutions. So we get independent evaluation. And we also have 5 follower cities, Valletta, Suceava, Porto, Cork, and Graz, that are all looking into these smart solutions and are planning to implement some of them in their cities. And we also have a take-up city group, where we invite other cities that were not part of the project from the beginning, but will also be able to follow how it goes in these 3 lighthouse cities by webinars and be invited to different workshops and so on. So if there is a city here who is interested to participate in that group, you're very welcome to come forward afterwards. And we think that if we implement these smart solutions in these cities and also the take-up cities, then these smart solutions will be rolling by themselves in the market, because they're really smart and they help us to solve a lot of challenges that we have in the cities. And these are the partners. It's really challenging to have this many partners, but on the other hand, we get a lot of things done by all of them. So, well, this is how you can be involved. Being in the city uptake group, but also just follow us on Twitter and watch our webpage, where we have fact sheets on all these smart solutions, so you can get all detailed information about it. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa. I think this is quite a luxury situation for a moderator, because I have never moderated the panel with 15 minutes left after in only 1 hour time slot. So thank you very much for keeping in time. It's really fantastic, and this is perfect that we can get more interaction with our audience. Okay, we have the first question is, how is the citizen involved in those disruptive transformation? His needs and his knowledge. Okay, so how can we involve really the people in these transitions, which should be disruptive, because our environment is becoming disruptive. So, please, Edgar.
Gracias. Fundamentalmente la disrupción, si se puede decir eso en español, más importante es casualmente dar un espacio al lado de la demanda, es decir, al ciudadano. Mi experiencia como alcalde de 11 años es que en el sistema, en los sistemas burocráticos, dentro de ellos no están el set de incentivos suficientes para generar este tipo de transformaciones, a menos de que esos incentivos sean un input que viene desde afuera. Y la tecnología ayuda mucho con esto, es decir, la tecnología ha acercado en tiempo real la demanda del ciudadano a la mesa de decisiones. Nosotros tenemos ejemplos de esto, tenemos una aplicación que el ciudadano puede reportar desde hoyos en la calle hasta problemas de otro tipo. Esta aplicación genera unos rankings a través de unos algoritmos, y esos rankings prácticamente determinan el uso futuro del presupuesto. Entonces, yo diría que la manera de hacerlo es, por una parte, saber que debe haber una demanda fuerte, informada y con una tecnología que le permita acercarse a la mesa de toma de decisiones. Y lo otro que es relevante es cambiar el lenguaje. El lenguaje textual, el lenguaje verbal, político, es abrumador y abre poco espacio a la participación. Hay una necesidad fundamental de cambiar la gramática. La gramática de la política pública en las ciudades ya no debería de ser el texto, no debería de ser el discurso político, debería de ser gráfico y debería de ser la evidencia que viene de los datos, es decir, matemático. Esas son las disrupciones que me parece que son fundamentales para que haya acompañamiento de parte de la ciudadanía.
Muy bien. ¿Alguien más quiere intervenir? André, I think you show also some interesting applications from your city for the participation of citizenship. So I think it's...
Yes. In Brazil, we have some laws that says that public projects, big or medium public projects, you have to listen to the citizens, work together, plan. But it's a challenge to innovate in this part of the projects, the planning projects, because in the physical meetings, all meetings are the same people saying the same things. It always happens in Brazil. But we're trying to use the technology, as said here, that in Salvador we have more smartphones than people, than inhabitants. So we're trying to use, you see that our program listen to our neighborhood, to that people choose what they want to be done in the neighborhoods. We're trying to make some web platforms for people to listen to people, but the laws still ask us to do physical meetings, and we still have to do physical meetings with the same persons, with the same questions. That I think it's not, well, that doesn't work today. And I think transparency, transparency with the public governments, it's very, very, very important. And in Brazil, you have some laws also. You have law for everything. But I think it's quite challenge how to use the technology to make these things really happen and really have democracy, transparency, and engagement.
Yeah, I can add on to when we're working with renovation, it's existing areas. So of course there are people living there and they know a lot about their cities. I can give you an example how we have been working or why we really started to work really good with this. We have a housing company that is owned by the city of Stockholm, and they were planning to demolish some of the houses and build row houses there instead. And of course the people that were living in the houses were really angry. They came and threw tomatoes and so on in the city hall. And then this housing company understood that, well, we have to speak to the people if we're going to do these kind of changes. So they did a restart, and they really invited everybody in this area. There's 60,000 people living there. And they organized 4 different meetings where there was a week each, where everybody was invited, and they had a map, and everybody put where they were living, and then they put a dot where they thought that something was good and something was bad, and there was always an explanation what their opinion was about this area. And there were 10,000 people participating, and we got 30,000 opinions on what
Inputs.
needed to be done. And one of the keys was that each day when this event was happening, they would pick one of the opinions, and the one would win a month rent. So this was a really cheap way to get very many people to give opinions, and the opinions were what they thought. So it was a good way. And they have continued to work in this way with renovation. So when one house was, now they're not demolishing any houses, but when one house is going to be renovated, they invite all the people who are living in that house to a meeting, and everybody says what is interesting, what they think needs to be done in the house. And they choose some of the tenants to work together with the architect and the housing company to develop a proposal on the renovation, including also the rent.
Lisa, there is another question.
Yeah,
but
I
shortly. No, there are several, but another for you.
Yeah, but I'll just finish this one. Then when they come back with it, all are invited again, and they can vote if they are for this proposal or not. So this is really democracy with the tenants.
There is a question, but please briefly.
Yeah.
How do you combine the 12 smart solutions to local economic development?
Sorry?
How do you combine these solutions with the local economic activity, local economic growth? You thought that some tenants was involved, I mean, professionally in the development with the architects and professionals. So is there any plan to match the future employment or activity or businesses with the local tissue, with the local...
Well, all the solutions that we are doing are for the local people. So they are the ones who are going to use them. So they really need to be involved. Now in Grow Smarter with the smart solutions, the other one was another project I was talking about. But so the people really needs to get good information on how to use them, and need to be also helping us to develop it. So it's something that they want to happen.
Okay. There are several more questions. I would suggest now to start with Matthias, because this is kind of very a question for a mayor. Are you planning to include families with lower income in your plans? And probably similar question, or somewhat similar, which is the priority for sustainable economic growth in your city?
En castellano, mejor.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Claro que estamos el origen de muchas de nuestras políticas es dar apoyo a las personas con menos ingresos, que tienen desfavorecidas, que no tienen acceso a, por ejemplo, a la vivienda, ¿no? Ese es uno de los retos más importantes. Y cuando pensamos en hacer nuevas viviendas públicas, y obviamente pensamos en hacerlas eficientes porque sus gastos en energía, por ejemplo, sean menores. También pensamos en la localización, en dar transporte público accesible económicamente y físicamente, pensando también en aquellos sectores de la ciudad donde hay más problemas o gente con menos ingresos. Y ese es un elemento, cuando hablamos de sostenibilidad, hablamos de sostenibilidad no solo económica, no solo ecológica, sino también económica. Y pensamos en pensamos en formación que da acceso luego al trabajo, y pensamos en formación ligada también a esos nuevas necesidades ligadas a la Smart City, ¿no?
Vale, gracias. Edgar, yo ya te iba a dar la palabra porque me interesa tu opinión, creo que...
Sí, nosotros voy a explicar rápidamente con un ejemplo un proyecto que hicimos. Queríamos saber cuál era la movilidad real de personas con problemas de movilidad en la ciudad. Es decir, estoy hablando de personas que podrían tener un ingreso prácticamente nulo porque su discapacidad motora les hace estar en esa condición socioeconómica, aunque estén respaldados por sus familias. ¿Cuál era su verdadera movilidad en la ciudad? Entonces hicimos unos dispositivos muy baratos que pusimos en sillas de ruedas y traqueamos o seguimos eso por vía digital, y se crearon una serie de mapas sobre la movilidad de estas personas. De ahí surgió un dato, y ese dato es el esfuerzo que hace una persona en silla de ruedas en Curridabat versus el esfuerzo que hace un caminante normal para recorrer 100 metros. Ese dato nos dio como resultado que estas personas hacían un esfuerzo excesivo y que la mayoría de veces no llegaban al lugar deseado. Entonces nos movimos a una aplicación que ya les hablé, que se llama Yo Alcalde, porque queremos que todo el mundo sea alcalde y no solo haya un solo alcalde. Y lo que hicimos fue pedir que nos reportaran obstáculos en las aceras, y el mapa se llenó de círculos, es decir, es ubicuo el problema de obstáculos en aceras. Después de esto, lo que hicimos fue crear un nuevo prototipo que llamamos patrulla peatonal, que son personas en sillas de ruedas que tienen la función por delegación de la municipalidad para chequear o revisar los obstáculos en las aceras. A partir de ahí el mapa también fue completo, y esto se llevó al Consejo Municipal. El Consejo Municipal, en una sesión muy corta de 10 minutos, tomó la decisión de trasladar $1 millón que estaba supuesto para reparación de calles hacia la remoción de obstáculos y mejoras de acera. Ese dinero nunca hubiera estado ahí si no hubiera sido por el input de toda esta información, alguna matemática, otra vivencial. La gente escribía su experiencia, y esto, por supuesto, es una manera de integrar a las personas que están quedándose atrás en la comunidad. De tal manera que sí es una prueba fehaciente de que la tecnología ayuda. Pero quiero vincularla con otra pregunta que decía aquí: ¿puede el sector privado ayudar? Sí, claro que puede ayudar, por supuesto, pero la definición de la política pública debe ser del ámbito público, y eso es algo que a mí me preocupa mucho. La oferta es abrumadora y la oferta el mercado conduce muchas veces hacia una política pública que normalmente, cuando eso sucede, tiene un margen de error muy grande.
Pues muchas gracias. Yo creo que con esto has abordado la última pregunta que teníamos. Yo la verdad que tendría unas cuantas más, pero en 2 minutos que nos quedan no me atrevo, porque me temo que preguntando a Matías si cree que la realidad corre más que las ideas y el planeamiento, podríamos entrar en una discusión bastante larga. En cualquier caso, yo creo que hemos tenido un panel excepcional, donde realmente hemos visto que la administración pública tiene muchísimo que decir en la innovación de nuestras ciudades. También a mí me ha gustado mucho esta reflexión de pensemos en ciudades medias, que no son solo las mega urbes y macro ciudades, es donde pasan las cosas, que hay mucho que hacer y mucha calidad de vida en ciudades medias, de hecho. Creo que hemos tenido unos discursos y unas reflexiones muy inspiradoras. Yo, la verdad, me quedo con lo de innovación como obligación. Y con esto creo que todos estamos de acuerdo. Y muchas gracias y hasta la próxima.